Ever zoomed in on someone's console table on Instagram or found yourself deep in a Pinterest scroll at midnight thinking, wait, how is that lamp $300? Yeah, same. The designer look is stunning, but some of these simple pieces, not so simple on the wallet. So if you've ever fallen in love with high-end home decor only to flinch at the price tag, this video is for you. Today, I'm walking you through 5 DIY decor dupes that capture that same designer feel, but at a fraction of the cost. And if DIY's not your thing, don't worry. I've added budget-friendly alternatives you can still style like a pro. Stay tuned and let's create something beautiful together. Stone or plaster pedestals. You don't need a big room to make a big impression. Sculptural pedestals are the secret weapon of high-end interiors. Those sleek little columns you see standing quietly under a marble bowl or ceramic vase. They signal taste, intention, restraint. And yet they cost a small fortune from designer brands. CB2s go for $249, and RHs can climb past $400. But here's the good news. You can make your own version for under $40 and a Sunday afternoon. Materials you'll need. First, measure and cut. Decide the height of your pedestal. 18 to 24 inches is ideal, and cut the tube cleanly with a handsaw or box cutter. For a more geometric look, stack 2 MDF cube boxes and secure them with wood glue. Apply joint compound. Using a putty knife, spread the compound in soft, sweeping strokes. Don't overthink it. Irregular texture is what gives it that plaster finish seen in Mediterranean and Parisian interiors. Let it dry overnight. Sand gently. Once dry, lightly sand to smooth the roughest edges, but leave some texture for charm. A medium fine grit works best. Paint and age. Coat with matte paint. Creamy white or soft putty shades look most natural. If you want depth, lightly sponge diluted taupe paint in random patches, focusing around the base and top rim. Let it cure. Allow to fully dry for 24 hours before styling. Place it in a quiet corner with a single item on top, a curvy vase, a bowl of seashells, or even a stack of antique books. It draws the eye without demanding it. The kind of detail that makes a room feel effortlessly styled, not overly worked. Another subtle trick. Try making 2 of them at different heights and placing them side by side, near a mirror or window. The staggered heights create instant dimension, like a little gallery space inside your home. However, if you're not into DIY, you can check H&M Home's ceramic pedestal stand, or search from eBay or Etsy. Next, we're transforming something ordinary into something that belongs in a Pottery Barn catalog. Pottery Barn Glow Up. There's something about a matte, earthy vase that feels instantly expensive. Think of those sculptural pieces from Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel, or West Elm, rounded silhouettes with a chalky texture that catch the light just right. They're styled empty or with a single stem, always poised and peaceful. But behind that $89 price tag, often just ceramic sprayed with paint. The truth? You can transform a thrifted glass vase into this same elevated look with just a few affordable supplies and a bit of play. Let's turn your smooth, boring thrifted vase into a rustic artisan statement using joint compound. Yes, the same stuff used for walls. Materials you'll need. Before you proceed, clean your vase thoroughly. Remove all stickers or grime. A clean base ensures the paint adheres properly. Step 1. Apply the joint compound base. Scoop out ready-mix joint compound. You can get it at any hardware store, and use a $2 plastic tiling tool to spread it over your vase. Think frosting a cake. You want it thick enough to add texture, but not so heavy it cracks. Step 2. Create the textured pattern. Use the edge of the tool, a comb, or even your fingers to create ridges, waves, or a plaster-like finish. Don't stress about perfection. Rustic is the point. Step 3. Let it dry fully. Wait at least 24 hours. Once dry, sand lightly if you want a smoother texture. I usually leave it slightly rough. It photographs beautifully. Step 4. Paint the vase. Choose a warm neutral. Think greige, off-white, or earthy taupe. Mix the paint in a disposable cup so you can adjust tone as needed. Step 5. Dust with chalk for aging. Optional but magical. Here's the trick. Lightly rub the surface with a white or brown chalk stick and then smudge it in with a paper towel. This adds softness and age. Step 6. Seal the look. If your vase will hold water or be touched often, seal it with matte Mod Podge or clear matte spray. Pair it with faux dried stems or branches for a Pottery Barn moment. That cost under $10. What you're left with is a vase that looks like it's from a boutique in Tuscany or a Brooklyn design studio. It feels like it has history, even if you made it last Thursday. This is also a fun project to experiment with color. Instead of flat beige, try layering a base of off-white with a second wash of diluted gray or clay. It creates shadows that catch beautifully in sunlight, especially on rounded shapes. And if you loved that textured glow up, we're turning wall scraps into gallery-worthy texture with one of the easiest decor dupes out there. Jute wall art decor. You've seen this in designer spaces, a large-scale neutral wall piece that adds warmth without adding noise. It's often mistaken for high-end woven artwork, but it's usually something much simpler: jute rope, framed, or mounted. These textured wall hangings show up in Serena and Lily catalogs or Anthropologie interiors, bringing in coastal calm with a sculptural edge. They're perfect for renters, too. No need for nails, just lean it or hang it with command strips. Jute or rope wall art is trending in upscale boho and Japandi interiors, but high-end versions run over $200. Here's how to make your own. No woodworking required. You'll need Step 1. Plan your design. Sketch out a simple shape, an abstract wave, circular loops, or even a minimal arch. Use painter's tape to outline your shape if needed. Step 2. Glue down your rope. Start from the center and glue slowly, pressing as you go. Be patient. Neatness matters here. You can coil it, zigzag, or create ridged patterns. Step 3. Frame or paint the edges. To finish the piece, paint the board white or beige if needed, or frame it in a thin wood frame. If your rope is too yellow, a quick bleach soak and dry can tone it down. Step 4. Let it set. Give it a few hours to fully dry and settle before mounting. The result is a wall feature that adds tactile softness and a handcrafted soul to your space. It looks especially beautiful in daylight, where the raised texture creates natural shadows across the surface. Styling tip. Pair this with ceramic pieces or a linen-covered console for layered textures. It looks high-end but feels handmade in the best way. This piece draws people in. They'll ask where you bought it, and you can smile and say, "I made it." Now let's move from walls to something grounded and sculptural that brings softness into any room. Curved wall niches or alcoves. There's something timeless, almost romantic about a curved alcove. You see it in Mediterranean villas, Parisian apartments, and now modern Pinterest boards everywhere. Arched wall niches, whether functional or purely decorative, immediately soften a space. They speak of intention, like the room was designed for quiet beauty. Curves matter, especially in feminine interiors. They counterbalance sharp lines, introduce elegance, and mimic the organic shapes we find comforting, like the curve of a shoulder or the swell of a ceramic vase. Whether you create a built-in arch or a faux version, this is one of the most rewarding weekend projects you can do. For this one, you'll need Start with sketching your arch. Use a pencil, string, and tack to trace a perfect semicircle on a foam board or MDF. The total height should be 4 to 5 feet for impact. Cut the shape. A sharp utility knife works well on foam board. For MDF, use a jigsaw. Smooth any jagged edges. Coat with joint compound. Use a putty knife to spread an uneven plaster-like texture over the surface. Let dry completely. Paint it. Match your wall color or use a slightly warmer, lighter tone for contrast. Mount it. Use command strips for foam board or drywall screws for heavier materials. Align with a small floating shelf underneath or lean larger versions on the floor. This creates the illusion of a built-in niche without any demolition. Just pure architectural charm. But if you own your home or want to go further, cut a shallow opening into the drywall and frame a true inset niche using 2x4s and plaster. Adding a curved niche isn't just a decor decision. It's emotional. It gives your walls something poetic. And when you get it right, it turns a flat surface into a focal point that whispers softness. Quick question before we move on. What's your favorite DIY decor project you've tried or want to try? I'd love to hear in the comments. Now that your walls are dressed with intention, let's go small again, to a surface that deserves more attention. The tray. Faux travertine, or marble tray. This one's all about the surface moment. A chic tray is like punctuation for your decor. It gathers, anchors, and elevates the everyday. But the ones you fall in love with on Pinterest? Often $150 and up. The good news, you can make one that looks like travertine or marble for a fraction of the price, and no one will know it's DIY unless you tell them. We're not just saving money, we're shaping the atmosphere. A tray like this adds weight and texture to a coffee table, a vanity, or even your kitchen counter. It's where perfume bottles look collected, candles feel intentional, and small objects feel like design. Materials you'll need. Start with a base tray. Choose a shape you love, round, oval, or rectangular. Look for clean lines and a sturdy base. Texture the surface. Apply a thin layer of joint compound over the tray using a putty knife, working in soft, uneven sweeps to mimic stone. Let dry fully. Paint it. Use an off-white or warm beige matte paint to coat the surface. Blend in bits of taupe or greige with a sponge to create natural-looking variation. Seal everything. Once dry, finish with a clear matte sealant to protect the surface and give it that travertine-like stone finish. The final effect is luxe and touchable, something between stone, plaster, and artisan pottery. If you're working with a plastic base, just make sure it's sanded lightly so the texture holds. Here are some tips that you can follow. Use a crumpled plastic bag or sea sponge to dab on color for a more organic finish. For subtle speckling, flick a small paintbrush dipped in taupe or gray over the tray. Pair it with items in varied heights, a candle, a mini sculpture, and a sprig of something green. If it's for the bathroom, let the sealant cure fully before placing items with moisture. Thrift stores often have faux stone serving trays. Look past the handles or finish and think about what a coat of matte paint can do. This tray is a reminder that luxury isn't always about the object, it's about the composition. If you've made it this far, you already know. Style doesn't have to cost a fortune. It just takes curiosity, a bit of texture, and the confidence to do it your way. If you loved these DIY dupes, I think you'll adore this next video waiting for you.